In this tutorial, I want to show you how to make this cute little pot holder. This one is the vintage one that came out of a collection of vintage kitchen items that I have, and it was so cute, but too small. So I wanted to try it, and I figured it out, and I came up with this. And it's super cute, and I love it. So you can grab the PDF in the description. There's going to be a link down below, and let's get started. Okay, so we are using 2 strands of crochet thread and a size E or 3.5 millimeter crochet hook. You use what works for you. I'm going to show you with how to change colors here after a little bit. Right now I have my cream color with this yellow to get us started. You can get the PDF of all of the instructions in the link that will be in the description. But I have my chain 8 joined to form a ring, and then I worked 16 single crochets into the ring, and now I need to join this. We're going to do something a little bit different than usual. I'm pulling the loop up loose, taking my hook out. I'm going to go find that first single crochet, which is right here. Excuse my band-aids. I was just helping my husband work on my kitchen remodel, and I got a little banged up. So it's making it a little more awkward. There we go. So I'm under both strands of that. Now we're going to put this loop back onto the crochet hook and pull the loop through. Okay, I promise you it's not usually that awkward, but with my extra band-aid action going on, it's just a little more challenging. Now we are going to begin our setup row. To do that, we're going to make an anchored double crochet. You're going to chain 2 and insert your hook into the first chain and pull up 1 loop. And then we are going to go into the single crochet where we joined, but we're only going under the front loop. We're going to pull up 1 loop. Now we have 3, and finish as for a regular double crochet. And what this does is it anchors the double crochet to the turning chain so you don't have any gapping. I'm going to put a stitch marker in the top of that stitch so I know where it is. Now we're going to work 2 connected double crochets. We're going to grab that, go into the insert our hook into that bar of that double crochet, and we're going to pull up a loop. That's a pretend double crochet, or excuse me, a pretend yarn over. We're going to go into the next stitch, but we're again only working under the front loop. Pull up a loop and then finish per your usual double crochet. And do that again because you want 2 of those. And then go to the next. Here we go. Okay, now we have 3 stitches. This next stitch is going to be where we put the point. We need 2 connected double crochets under the front loop of this next stitch, just like this. You might even hear some TV in the background because it's football season. All right, so now we have 5 stitches. We have our anchored stitch, 2 connected double crochets, and then the 2 connected double crochets in that 1 stitch. I'm going to put another stitch marker in the top into that last connected we made. We're going to chain 1. And in the very same loop, we're going to make a double crochet because you can't anchor without the one to start with, and then we're going to put an anchored double crochet in the same spot. So what we've done is we've added 5 stitches in that little spot. Now we're going to add another stitch marker in that top of that double crochet. We're going to make 3 connected double crochets. Oops, there we go. Under just that front loop only, remember that. Now you're going to see why. And you want to, if you're doing the 2 strands like I am, make sure you get under both of them. There we go. That's 1. 2. And 3. As is often the case, the setup row is always the trickiest. Okay, so we now have 5 stitches here. We have our double crochet and the connected that are part of the corner, and then 3 more. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to turn this way. We're going to now be working on the back side of this in what is now the front loops of the stitches that we just worked from the other side. And this is how we do that. I'm going to insert my hook in there to connect it and get my connected loop, and then I'm going to kind of rotate this. This is a little fiddly. Actually, it's a lot fiddly. You want to give yourself plenty of room. And there is my, just find that, the bottom of that stitch. I'm going to put it in this way and see if I can get that to loosen up a little bit, because I tugged on it a bit going the other way. There we go. That opened it back up again. There we go. Now I can come in from the underneath. And okay, and I've got all my parts there. There we go. And then we're going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull. Oh, look what I did. I don't know if you can see this, but this might happen to you, so I want to show you what's happened here. If I turn it this way, there we go. Now it's going the right. Now you can see everything, but it twisted it around because I was way over here. There we go. And then here is the bar for that one. Pull up our little loop there. Here's our next stitch. There's the bottom of it. Okay. Making 3 on this back side. 3 connected double crochets right there. There. And I've got this kind of folded over that way, so it's a little bit easier now to see where those front loops are. Alright, now we're at our corner, and we're going to do just like we did on the other side in the corner, right? We're going to come make 2 connected double crochets in that corner for the first part of the corner. And then I'm going to put a stitch marker in that last one. I'm going to chain 1. I'm going to make a regular double crochet in that very same stitch, because you're adding 5 stitches there, right? Okay, there's 1, and now we're going to connect, make the next ones connected. Now what I want to do is I want to put a stitch marker in the top of that double crochet. The reason you want to do that is because it helps to identify where your chain 1 space is. Once you get a lot of stitches going on, that can start to get a little bit difficult. It can be a little bit difficult to see sometimes. Stitch markers help a lot. Then we have 3 more connected double crochets to make. One, two, and 3. Ooh, poked all up. Boy, I poked that one all the way through. There we go. And 3. There you go. All right. Phew. That was our very fiddly set up. Okay, as promised, I want to show you how to change colors, how to add colors for doing stripes. When you get to the last stitch of the round, I want you to stop before you actually complete the stitch, while you still have 2 loops on your hook. Now you might hear some fun noises in the background. I just heard the air compressor come on out in the kitchen project. So, alright, so we're going to take this yellow that we're going to be setting aside for the moment. We're going to put it over here, and we're going to grab the green because I want to use that one next. I'm going to let the yellow just kind of be over here, and I'm going to put the cream color that's staying, and I'm going to double this new one over a couple inches, not too much. You want it enough so that you can secure it, but not so much that you have lots. Now you want to hold this firm, but you don't need it loose, and you're just going to pull all of that through. So now I've got the green and white coming through right here. The yellow is over here, and we're ready to begin. And the stitch we just finished ended with its proper color, the yellow. I'm going to pop a stitch marker in so I know that that is the last stitch for the round. And now we need to join with the beginning. This is where we're gonna join like this. Remember how we did that before? We're gonna go under the stitches. We're gonna put the loop back on the hook and just pull it through, just like that. All right. Now we're gonna make another anchored double crochet. So we're gonna chain 2, and I'm using all of those strands of that green just to secure it a little bit more, but then I'm going to let that little tail, and I'll make sure that little snick of tail stays to the inside. Then we're going to come in right here, grab our thing. Now we're working under both of the legs of your stitch, and we're going to make our anchored double crochet and put our stitch marker back in, and then we're going to make connected double crochets in each stitch all the way up to the first stitch marker. Alright, I will let you do that, and I will meet you up at the next stitch marker. Okay, we're up to that first stitch marker, so we're going to take that out and make our connected double crochet in that stitch. And then we're going to do the 2 connected double crochets inside the chain 1 space for the point. And we're going to put that stitch marker back in that last connected double crochet we made. And we're going to chain 1. We're going to make a double crochet in the same chain 1 space. And then we're going to make a connected double crochet in the same chain 1 space. And now we need to make a connected double crochet in the stitch where the stitch marker is. So I got my pretend yarn over started, and now I'm going to take that, make sure that this stitch isn't covering over the stitch that I want to use. And then we'll make our stitch right there. And then the stitch marker goes back in, but it goes up here in that double crochet in the corner. And now we're going to do all of the connected double crochets over to the next stitch marker. This is where it goes down to the edge and turns the corner and goes back up the other side. Okay, we've come back across to the stitch marker. We're at the next point in the round. So I'm going to take the stitch marker out and make a connected double crochet in that stitch. Now we're in the corner, so we need to find that chain 1 space. We're going to make 2 connected double crochets in that chain 1 space. And put the stitch marker back up in the last connected double crochet. This way, these stitch markers here end up marking where the stitches on either side of the chain 1 space. I'm going to chain 1, make the double crochet, and then connected double crochet in the same chain 1 space. Then we're going to make our connected in the stitch with the stitch marker, so we'll pull that marker out. Make sure it's not being covered over. The legs of these stitches inside the chain 1 space can really crowd that, and that's why having that marker there is so helpful to make sure that you're not hiding your... Alright, now I did that. Now we're going to come back. Now I put that stitch marker goes in up here on the top of that double crochet. And we're going to come down to the last marker for the round. To reel off a little more work and thread and yarn. A yellow is still over there. When we get down to the end here, I'm going to add another color. So, because I'm a glutton for punishment, and I apparently want to have all of the stripes going. But what's nice about this is this technique I'm going to show you, carrying your yarn up, works for making stripes in a number of things. There's our stitch marker marking the last stitch in the round. And we're going to, just like we did when we added the green, so we're going to start that connected double crochet. But when there's 2 loops left on the hook, we are going to, we're going to untangle this. And sometimes it does get wrapped around pretty good. And it's a good idea to keep all of these from getting too tangly. If you just let them go willy-nilly and wherever they want to go, you will end up with quite a tangle, and you will be frustrated with the process. And here's that little bit of yellow. Remember that little organdy bag that we had earlier? Well, here it is, and what we're going to do is I'm going to put these balls in there. These are the colors that are attached to the project, but not currently being used. I'm going to put them in there so they can't get away, and it's going to help keep them from getting tangled up. You can use almost anything. I just happen to have this little drawstring bag that was handy. And now I want to add this 3rd color. Oh, pop it off the hook. There we go. Everybody's back on the hook. Now my green and my yellow are over here. Alright, the yellow is further down in the project. You can see it way down here, and the green is here. I know in this video these are softer colors. It might be not quite as easy to see, but this just me at home doing this project, so no studio quality. Okay, we're going to yarn over with our primary color that's going throughout. We're going to add our new color and pull that through to finish off that stitch. And you'll notice that this stitch is still finished with the green that we just let go of. And you can see on the back where those 2 colors are still connected. We're going to put our stitch marker back in here. And now I'm going to finish, and I'm going to come around back to this end, and I'll meet you back here. And we're going to start talking about how to change from the colors that you have connected and how to carry that up through the back. So move forward with your stripes, and I will meet you back. Work. All right. We're worked all the way back around, and I added a 4th color here. So I have yellow, green, blue, and then this multicolor going on. I have these tails to the inside. So I'm going to turn, this is what this kind of looks like as we're stitching. I'm going to turn this over so you can see the inside. Oops, let's get the, there we go. So when you look at it from the inside, you can see where each of these color rows is added. So what we're going to do to stripe this is we're going to pick up this color right here. That's the yellow from the first one. And I'm going to bring it out of my little organdy bag, and I'm going to make sure it's all untangled from its friends here. That is, it's a little tedious, I'm not going to lie. But it adds and it makes things better. It just does. And then I'm going to bring this up, the new color. This gets easier too, by the way, once you have more fabric. It's not as cumbersome of a process. But trying to do this while I'm recording, it looks more cumbersome than it actually is. So I'm going to put all these colors I'm not using are going over here. This is the color I'm going to use next, and I'm going to bring it up over here. But all of the rest of the colors in my little bag to keep them organized. You could use a Ziploc bag or almost all kinds of different things you can do with that. Now what we're going to do, remember we've got our last stitch in the round, but we've left 2 stitches on the hook, and we're going to just bring all of this kind of up a little bit and lay it across the back, and this is going to come up across the back. But you don't want to pull this tight. You don't want it big and loopy, but you also don't want it pulling tight, because if you pull this too tight, if you pull your yellow color too tight, you see what it does? It pulls that. So you want to make sure that you're not adding too much tension with the color that you are carrying up. And I also want to make sure that the tail from this other guy is not getting tangled up in there. So there we go. Everybody's going in the direction that they need to be going. We'll yarn over and complete that last connected double crochet from this round. Tuck my stitch marker back in. Take my hook out. We're going to join the round over here. So I'm going to take my hook out. I'm in here. The loop back on. There you go. If you were just doing one color, you would just keep going. The other option is that you can just simply tie bits of yarn, bits of your cotton yarn, if you've got scraps, tie them together end to end, and simply tuck the knots to the, tuck your tie knots to the inside, and then when you're done and you go and you fold this up and you stitch it shut, all those knots will be safely and securely tucked inside. So just keep repeating round 3 until you're out of yarn or you're at the size you want. That's all there is to it. Have fun. Okay. So then the next thing we're going to do is join the layers together. This is obviously not big enough to be a pot holder, but it's a nice size for demonstration. So what we're going to look at is the inside. So you've made this kind of, it ends up being a bit of a pocket. And you're just going to have it be folded in half. But I wanted you to see over here where all of these stripes are carried up. And you can see all of those right there. And you can see all along here where each of the carry ups are just right along in here. And you just want to make sure that they're not tight. You've got your loose ends are hanging out in here somewhere. Oh, there it is over here. There's a knot where my cream color had a break in it, so I just tied a knot. And with a pot holder like this, all you have to do is just make sure all of that is tucked inside. You don't have to do anything to pretty it up. It all stays hidden inside. Now to do the joining, we're going to get back in our stitch over here. Now I'm going to continue on with this pot holder, so I'm not going to trim all this off. But if I was done, I would just cut this off, tie this bundle of strings into an overhand knot, and leave it tucked to the inside. But we're going to take out these stitch markers. We're going to fold this in half, and I'm going to put the active stitches towards the back, and this here's we're at the front. And what we're going to do is, again, if you recall, we have the two legs of our stitch, but we're going to go in to the back, under the back loop of the front stitch, and then we're going to come under, get my yarn out of the way here, Oh, fiddly. There we go. And then the stitch that is right across from it, we're going to go under the loop. Oh, I actually want this. Okay, hold on a second here. I need to get this. I need to get this over here. There we go. That's going to work better. All right. You can go under both, but I like the ridge that it makes. So we're going to go here. We're going to go here, and we're going to yarn over, and just, you can make a single crochet, you could do a fancy stitch, you can make little scallops, you can do all kinds of things. So that's really all there is to it. You're just going to go in to the stitch on the front half and into the stitch on the back half, and stitch them together and just go all the way around. When you get up here to the point, you're going to go inside that chain one loop on this side and inside the chain one loop over here. I would put probably 3 single crochets in that chain in there, joining the 2 chain 1 spaces together. If you're doing a taller stitch like a double crochet, you might need to put more stitches in there to keep that at a point. But that's it. That's all there is to it. Good luck. I hope you make bunches of these pot holders and that you love them. Well, I hope that this little tutorial on this little pot holder was helpful for you. I hope you make them and you enjoy this. That's kind of, once you figure it out, it's actually pretty simple. I like patterns that are like that, that are pretty simple. I'm Susie Colin. I'm the Empress of Yarn here at Perfectly Knotty, and it is my mission to help you make beautiful things. Subscribe to this channel and click the bell so you get notified, and I'd love it if you headed over to the website. There's a link down in the description. Sign up for the newsletter, grab the PDF for this pot holder so you can have all of the written instructions as well.